Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Kaiju number 8 video. Now, this is the time to do the tier list, and I have been working with special people, with perfect people for this one. We have been creating some bots using AI and some stuff to calculate damages, single target AoE, and buffs, healings, debuffs, and tanking with shielding and everything else. So we try to be diverse as much as possible with our findings with this, so we can give you the best result and you can check out what are the best characters in their tier or in their positions for you to use in this game. Now, this depends. If I want to say tier 0 supports, I'm gonna put a tier 0 for supports. If I want a tier 0 for carries, I'm gonna put a tier 0 for carries. But tier 0 is in general of characters that you must have if you can on your account. If you reroll, you need to have them. They will help you out a lot because of the function that they do, and you simply will have much better gameplay time with having them. Big shout out first of all to Long, to Kim, to Zinkyu. They helped me a lot. 1 Chinese, 2 Japanese, brilliant people. I'm the only European, which I helped a lot actually with this one, especially with my testing and the team that I created. Lately I made a video about it, go and check it out, it was funny. And they told me, yeah, this is awesome, but it also works with different characters. And we tried it and it really does work with different characters. So we'll be talking about this one. And yeah, take it with a grain of salt. These testings are us doing the testing manually with many characters. And most of the things that we did, we created specific bots and AI. So numbers and damages, and with the coding of what we do digitally, we can't actually like give biases. This is not me talking because I like a character, I'm putting him here, or because I tested him, I'm putting him here, or because I'm playing with him on my account. Many characters on my account, I max them out. You're gonna see me putting them on the lowest tiers because they are on the lowest tiers, but I love them, such as Rin. Rin is an AoE character, damage dealer, SSR, or 5 stars. I love her. I want to max her out. Still, she's one of the worst carries in the game. Still, I'm gonna put her low on the tier list. So without further ado, let's go. First of all, of course, we all know Kaiju number 8 and Reno. Absolutely top tier. You can put even Kaiju number 8 on a specific shenanigans. Let me tell you what happened with us testing this. So Kaiju number 8 is 120% dealing more damage than Reno, which is the second best. And Reno, the other carries, he outperformed them from 30% to 50% more in damages on the long-term fights, okay? Absolutely huge. Now this, we tested them without buffing these characters and with buffing these characters. The cool thing about Kaiju number 8, he has a built-in weapon, which is Kaiju, right? The monster in him. So you don't need to pull for a weapon to equip to him. You just go and give him stats, level him up, and give him these gears, what they are called, uniparts. And that's it. You're gonna go and absolutely destroy the story. Absolutely a cheat code. This is why the dev said, like, for the love of God, select him from the selected banner if you didn't summon him by sheer luck, which is absolutely perfect. Works with every single comp. When you buff him, he does a lot of damage. What we thought about, or with our testing, that he doesn't need anything else, but you might love to play him with a healer, with a shielder, other than debuffers if you want, not buffers, because you can play him with buffers. He accelerates with his damages, but he doesn't need that much because he's absolutely a beast of a monster with his damages. Now, why Reno is here? Reno accelerate everybody on your team, and the calculation of the damage number if he has a team. So he applies the ice frost or popsicles, whatever you're gonna call them, the ice debuff on the enemies. Whenever an ally attack this enemy, they deal damage according to his attack. And if you buff him with attack, the attack percentages of their damages will increase more and more. I explained it in my video. You can go and watch it. I showed you the damages. Everybody are doing incredible amount of damages. The game registers these damages to him. So he's doing the damages. If he wasn't in the fight, they will not deal as much damages. Now, there's a similar character that does the same thing as him. He's a support, actually deals ice. We'll be talking about him soon. Absolutely a beautiful unit, and he's the second best damage dealer in the game. Now on burst, on the first round, he goes more damage than Kaiju. Kaiju on the next round until the end of the game, he outshines everybody, and not Reno is the only one that outshines him. Mina outshines Reno on the first main burst, and with the game prolonging to longer fights, he is more consistent than her. Okay, that's what we want to talk about, and he's absolutely beautiful. This is why he's rated up. He's absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about S tier now. I would put him as, because he's the only soul support, as a tier 0. But even without him, you can still play the game, but he makes the game so much better. And this is Esau. Esau, absolutely a beautiful character. He's a support character. What he does is absolutely magnificent. He gives a shield for everybody else, everybody on your team, based on off of his defense. If you get attacked, you're gonna get stacks of defense stacking up to 5 times or something like that, according to his number. The number changes whenever you change up the skill or level up the skill. So he shields defense bonus. Now, because you have a shield, you're gonna get an attack shield, an attack bonus because you have the shield. So he buffs you on attack. Now, if you dupe him up, the cool thing about him, he starts recovering HP if you get 1 copy of him. I did on my account summon 1 copy of him by sheer luck, and he's now healing whenever he auto attacks, which is great. And on his second skill, he has a unique skill, or on his second dupe. So if you get him and then summon him twice or get 2 dupes of him, he revives himself, or he cheats death 1 time in the battle, which is absolutely beautiful. He's a beautiful unit. He buffs attack, he heals himself, and whenever he has a shield, he does like something like a mini taunt. You can say a mini taunt. Now, the more that you put in the skill, the more that he taunts, or the more that they attack him because he has a shield. So if there's the shield on, enemies or kaijus will prefer to attack him other than attacking anybody else. This is why he's the best slot here. Now, for the second best top tier, and you can put him in tier 0, okay, if you want to. If it's hurting you, if you're butthurt about having Gen here, and it's Gen, not Gen. His name is Gen, okay? Don't be confused by that. This is his name. Because when I was saying Gen, my fellow Japanese that is helping me here, he told me this is disrespectful. It's their culture, so it's Gen. So Gen, what does he do? Absolutely a monster of the damage dealer. Like he's just like Kaiju number 8. If he has a transformation, maybe he'll be better than Kaiju number 8 in my opinion, because he also buffs himself by himself. Absolutely a crazy unit, deals so much damage, really reliable. I would say if you didn't get lucky to pull Reno, try to get Gen, and this will help you a lot. Like Gen, Esau, and Kaiju number 8, absolutely fantastic. Now, why I'm saying this, you can run, you don't need these 3, right, on your account. Maybe in the future when we have 3 teams needed. But so far we need only 2 teams to progress in everything in the story, in the PvE. So if you want, you can build 2 of these characters. Now, 100% Kaiju number 8, if you have the selected summon and you couldn't get him from the selected summon. If you don't have the selected summon and you got him from the reroll, get from the selected summon another carry. Now, if you got Reno and Kaiju number 8, don't go for Gen, get from the selected summon somebody else that you like. And I highly recommend Esau because he's the best support and he's the only SSR support in the game. He's not a support, he's a tank and he supports as well, okay? He's a tank, defender, not a support, but he supports as well. He does the 2 jobs, which is absolutely beautiful. Now, let's talk about Hoshina. Shoshiro Hoshina, and I'm sorry because I was saying Hoshiro or Hoshino in my previous videos because I was confusing Soshiro with Hoshina. Okay, so Hoshina. And let's talk about Mina, the 2 supports. The best combo supports in the game so far, as attacking wise, buffing wise, upwards, not downwards. So you don't get defensively buffs from them. This is why I was playing Esau with them, and you can put Kaiju number 8, you will deliver the same amount of damage, you can destroy the content. Again, he's doing, Reno, he's doing great for me actually, because he buffs everybody, like he does the ice thing, and everybody on my team does incredible amount of damage. Without him, this team comp will feel a little bit less damagey, so you need to add another carry. So you would play these 2 supports with 2 carries, like Kaiju number 8 and Gen, and then you will see the numbers skyrocket, right? Or you can play 2 supports, but with Reno, you only need to play supports, maybe a healer if you want, and this damages will be absolutely fantastic. He will destroy everything in the game. Absolutely fantastic. Soshiro gives buddy battle to one in the battle. So buddies, one of his buddies is Mina. Now, other buddies, I think with him officers, but buddy, so far right now, what I like the best one to play with is Mina. He gives her buddy, so he increases her speed, he increases her crit damage, yada yada. She will be absolutely nice. and he gives her the speed is the most important thing. What does Mina do is buff your attack, give moral to the highest attacker on your team, and when they have moral, they will increase their damages ultimately overall, which is absolutely beautiful. One of the best characters in the game. Now I want to talk about Rio. Absolutely fantastic unit. Now the cool thing about Rio, and why is he super highly rated here, because he gives with his passive all allies a buff from the start until the end of the battle. You have an attack buff, attack, not defense, not damage, an attack buff. So this attack buff applies to the attack of characters, like Esau does damage according to his defense, but with the attack buff, his attack will be raised a little bit, so he does with his single target, with his basic attack, damages according to the attack, so it will be nice. But he buffs all the attacks for everybody on his passive, which is absolutely beautiful. And he applies speed for himself, so he will be speedy as well. Which is this attack buff on its own, without his ultimate, is beautiful. And he increases his gauge as well, so he can spam his ultimate or his whatever you want. But this only, having him on the team, is great to give an attack buff for everybody else. I would put him lower, but as we tested, he's consistent like these characters because they give buffs. Sometimes if you didn't get the turn for 2 turns, the buff or something like that, it can wear off, but his buff does not wear off, which is absolutely beautiful. The only healer in the game right now, but I don't know if anybody heals on their own, but she heals the team. She's the only healer in the game right now. She's the best healer. Akari, absolutely a beautiful character. I love everything that she does. She just heals consistently, and you can use a weapon that increases her healing output. So if you're having a lineup with Kaiju number 8. Why Kaiju number 8? Because he taunt. Or Esau, because he does the shield and he taunt. Or anybody that taunts, right? And you're taking a lot of damage, you need to heal them. You need to have her on the team, she will heal. Like you play with shields, healing, Kaiju number 8, another carry, or buffer, or a debuffer. Kaiju number 8 does not require buffers, to be honest. He does not require buffers. But debuffers will help because they will debuff the enemy and he will increase his damage on his own. So you don't need anybody to give him attack buff because he attacks his buff on it. But if you did, it will be also helpful. So if you have Esau, he's gonna give him the attack buff because of the shield and the defensive buff. And he increases his HP, Kaiju number 8, and go deal a lot of damage. This is one healer on the team because of them will being aggroing everybody, and she will can heal them both and heal everybody, and she will be safe because you're tanking with them, right? And getting shields by him. And you can play a debuffer, a stunner, whoever that you want, freeze character, another carry, another support, and that will help you a lot in the game, which is absolutely beautiful. This is for our S ranking, and yes, for our S ranking. Now let's talk about A ranking. We have Mina, we have Soshiro, and we have Kokiro. Now, I want to say something, okay? And I don't want you to be angry by the ranking that we put them here, okay? So, Kikoro is great. Is she better than Gen? No. Reno? No. Better than Kaiju number 8? No. All of these are not better than them. Now, they rated her super low. I rated her a little bit up, okay? We had a debate between us because her damages is less than him, but when she pops off with all the buffs, she deals damage more than him, okay? In situationally. In single target, she's absolutely a beast. Mina is way better than her, but Mina is less consistent. You want to build her on super crit rate, crit damage, so she can do a lot of damage and attack. While these 1, 2, 3, you don't need to build them on attack at all. They will have attack. I'm not saying don't build them on attack. Don't get me wrong. But you only give them crit rate, crit damage, and that's it. So their kit is easier to build because their base damages on their attack is super high and they go and deal a lot of damage. He buffs himself with attack, so his crit rate, crit damage is a must on him. He buffs himself with everything, so give him just crit rate, crit damage. And here, if you have attack set on him and you give him crit rate, crit damage, maybe he needs a little bit of effect accuracy, but you don't need it actually because he's consistent with landing the debuffs because it's a high percentages on his own. While these characters, he's a semi-AoE damage dealer, which I prefer him more than Mina and more than Kikoro. But if you love these characters, they're not bad, they're good. If you really don't want Gen, you don't want Reno, you have Kaiju number 8, you want to pick somebody from these, no one of them is wrong to build, okay? Now, I would say for bossing, Mina maybe is a little bit better than both of them. She's better a little bit on bossing than him. He does not super AoE. He does AoE damage, but he also hits everybody. Like in single target, he's really good. Anyway, these are on par with the same. Like she's better than them on single target on burst, okay? And she's better than Reno on burst on the first round. Better than Kaiju number 8 on the first round of burst damage. And then they outscale her because they're better in their kit in technicality, okay? So we'll be talking about this in this way. Now, supports that are super decent in this game, I'll be talking about them really quickly. Why are they lower than these supports? These supports does things that like double buffs on attack and damage, double buffs on attack and damage, speed, body partner. He does give you a buff on attack passively. On your passive, you're gonna get an attack. Now, so let's talk about Kota. Kota is absolutely beautiful. He does a debuff on attack on your enemies. He does freeze just like Reno. So it means whenever they deal damage, for these freeze characters, he's gonna apply also damages according to his high attack. So they will deal damages according to his attack because he is the one to freeze them. Which is a mini Reno, let's say, with the damages. He lets everybody on your team also deal damage. So your damage output will increase a little bit more with having him on the team. Plus he reduces the damages or the attack from the enemies and the damages from the enemies because the attack down. Now if an enemy does damage according to their HP or defense, his attack down will not be that good because it will be then situational only for attack exclusively. The cool thing about his himself as well with his passive, he applies for himself shields so he can survive a little bit more, which is a good survivable character. Now, same on him, on the same par, I would say Izumo is absolutely a beast. He's one of my favorite characters. I actually, really, as a debuffer, he's the best debuffer in the game. I want to put him in tier 0. But I will not do biases, right? If I want to put tier 0, you're not gonna find Kaiju number 8 in tier 0. If it's talking about my feelings and how I love this game, I would put different characters, right? But I will be speaking honestly and giving you everything with our testing, right? I hate doing testing. It took us hours to do that. So I appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Anyway, what does he do? He speed down the enemy. He attack down the enemy. Absolute monster. And he remove buffs from them. So he can, with his attack or with his ultimate, with his skill, he can remove one buff from the enemy, which is huge, right? Imagine they buff themselves, they're in rage mode, he removes one buff. And then he applies attack down on them. So they don't have the buff anymore. He removes, the shield is considered a buff. He might remove all entire shield. In bossing, it will help a lot. He does attack down and he gives them a speed down as well with his passive, which is, what? That's crazy. This is one of the most utility character. Now the attack down as well, as we said about him, if they deal damage according to their defense, to their HP, it will be situational. But the removing of the buff, one buff from the enemy, plus putting them onto speed down, that would be huge, especially when you max the skill. It goes up to 15% if I'm not mistaken, and this will make them a little bit slower so you can rotate even more with your characters. Absolutely beautiful. Now, Iharu. Again, Iharu, just like him, I wanted to put him on tier 0. Why? Because he's not, I think he's the only one that deals defense down. Maybe one of the rarest characters to do defense down on the enemies, okay? Plus his passive gives you effect resistance up, or effect, is it effect resistance or effect hit rate? Hit rate, so effect accuracy, you get effect accuracy. So the more, so he helps everybody that lands dots or debuffs or stuns or freeze. He helps everybody on your team to do that and delivers. Plus he's gonna do defense down on the enemies. And defense down for bossing, for single target, you need to build him. This character is, for me, is a must build for bossing when higher stages are up and the bosses one-shot you. If you want to go one turn to try to break them, stun them or something else. I'm going to be talking about different characters. They will be in C tier, but they are a must build for me, actually for my team comps in the future. You know, I'm not one of the best free-to-play players because I just yap a lot, because there's synergies that you need to do. He deals dot damage because of his electric shock. He's an electric-based character. He does electric damage and it's a dot that you put it, so he contributes in damages as well. These are the supports, the second tier supports, I would say, for the higher tier supports that they're up. She's the only healer, this is why she's here. One healer drops in the game and she does even buffs or something else other than heal rate up or anything, she might fall down to C tier, okay? This is why she's up here until we have another healer. Why is he here? because he's right now the best SSR support. Literally, he's a defender and a support at the same time. None of these are supports or in the game. So this is how good he is. And he deals damage according to his defense. So it's a little bit of a change. This is why we're putting them here. So you need to be open-minded about what we're talking about here. Now, we're gonna come here to Rin. Rin, my favorite character in the game. The character that I'm gonna build, invest, and I'm gonna pick her from the selected character over Kaiju number 8. This is how biased I am to her, but is she good? No, she's garbage, she's trash. I just love her. I love what she does. AoE damage with her with all of her skills. She's just an AoE damage dealer. Her AoE damage is super low. Because she's AoE, they didn't want to buff her and give her the attack and the damages that she's AoE, that whenever she hits, she clears everybody. So they gave her, so you're AoE, you're gonna hit everybody, but you're gonna hit like a noodle, like a wet noodle. So this is why she's the worst character in the game as an SSR. I would put her in C tier, but because she's having high stats on SSR and she deals more damage than other SRs, I'm gonna put her here, okay? I'll be talking about other SRs that outshines her actually, but because we're talking first about SSRs, we're gonna put her here. Now, we're gonna talk about Kafka. Kafka is the best damage dealer as an SR can go, okay? Especially when he goes into Kaiju. No need to talk about that. The game is around him, named Kaiju number 8, and he is Kaiju number 8. Now, Soshiro SR also deals insane amount of damages, a really good unit. We're gonna put her here. And why we gonna put this support here? Because he stuns. Absolutely only I put him because of his stun. Now he does a lot of other things, but the stun is, he's a poison unit. He poisons the enemies. Really good damages that he does. But the stun, when he lands it, is really nice. They get delayed. They miss the entire turn. The enemy doesn't attack. Now, some people told me, and I didn't test it on all of the bosses. We tested it on a bot that it does a simulation of the game. So I don't know if bosses get stunned all the time or there's specific bosses. There's specific bosses that have immunity to stuns, to freeze. So yeah, he's helpful in many situations, especially against these bosses in later game that one-shot you. Like if you don't kill them in one turn, they one-shot you. He comes in clutch, single boss. Okay, I stun, good job, and I go away. All right. So this is really a great character to have him here. Yeah, I think his name is Keiji Itami or something. Yeah. So absolutely a wonderful unit. This is for me a must build. If it wasn't for the testing and if it was only from my perspective, I would put him here with them because he's the only stunner in the game that let the enemy miss their entire turn completely, and he will be clutch in the future. I'm absolutely gonna build him over other support units, okay? So just keep that in mind why we're putting him here. Why is he on B tier? Because he is a support that deals a lot of damage and he has one utility, which is the stun, okay? That's it. Okay, the rest of the characters, absolutely decent units. All of them are attackers, damage dealers, and they're absolutely with their damages lower than everybody else. I'm gonna tell you something, this dude and this deals more damage than all of these down there before the scaling on their base, which is kind of weird for me. But any character would be dealing a lot of damage if you pair them up with Reno. If you have Reno on your team and you put anybody on your team, they will all deal a lot of damage because of his passive, which is on the ice popsicles that he does. They deal more damage to the frozen enemies. And yeah, that was it basically for the tier list. Again, this would change with different metas. One new character could change everything. One new character that is SR, like him, gets a buff or gets released that does the same what Reno does, but let them deal damage according to their HP, could change the entire map of your tier list. And I'm not saying these characters are bad, they are in tier A. Like, do you want me to put them with Gen? This is unbelievably unfair because Gen deals damages more than all of them. Does more damages than Reno actually, but Reno on the long run outscales him on single target and AoE. Reno is an AoE, semi-AoE single target damage dealer, which is a boss killer as well. Now, if you want to build two teams, you can put Reno on one team and you can put Kaiju number 8 on one team. And when you have an events for one single boss, you can play only Kaiju number 8 because he's the most ultimate weapon in this game. The damages are unbelievable. I thought the devs were exaggerating and everybody were exaggerating when they say like Kaiju number 8 damages, he's better than the rated up character. Oh no, it's 120% extra damage, and this is only with 5 turns. Like I didn't go and test him on 10 turns, 20 turns, because on 10 and 20 turns, I think the damages multipliers go above 1000% in differences between any character in the game. So yes, if you summoned and went and got Reno, and you're summoning randomly getting characters. If you didn't get him randomly on your characters, your selected character should be him. If you don't want to build him as a selected character, or if you got him and you want somebody on a selected character, you have Esau as a best support. So far, he's the only support. Or you can save it for future. Maybe they add somebody and they will become in that selected. I don't think so, because they said the selected is locked for these characters in specific. But you might summon and summon and summon and get them all. And then you want to dupe somebody, so you can put the dupe on somebody else. So the selected character is the last thing that you want to do. Unless you're really shafted and you don't want to reroll, then go and pick one of these 4 characters up here. I would say just keep 2 carries, get the support, okay? If you pull the support, get 2 carries. And if you get any of these carries, you can build them and play around them. Really fun. But if you want to be competitive, when we have events and rankings, don't come crying and saying, oh, I built this, she didn't work because they have Gen. Well, yeah, duh, we said Gen is better, okay? So keep that in mind. And these supports are the top supports so far. She's the best healer in the game. I find healing is shit in this game because you can get one shot on high level. I'm at level 80 with my characters, and basically you get one shot if you don't have shields with Esau, if he doesn't give shields on his own. Like this is the amount of things that you need to think about on late game is different than what you have on the early game. The early game, you're gonna see everybody dealing damages. On the late game, you're gonna see different shenanigans on the game. And yeah, that was it for the video. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about it, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.